So if you're someone who posts just because of, or you spend way too much time stressing over what to post, this video is for you, all right? Because I was that guy. I was that person. I was that creator. I know how frustrating it can be feeling like you didn't do enough or you didn't get your content posted for the day. I know how annoying it is trying to come up with a caption on the spot for a reel you just created. I get it. I understand. But don't worry, I got the solution. Because today we're talking about 9 content strategy mistakes I made so that you don't have to make the same mistakes and you can have an easier time creating content. I got some bonuses and freebies in here too, so make sure you stick to the end, all right? But before we get into that, if you don't know who I am, my name is Marvell. I am a funnel and content strategist. I help creators and entrepreneurs get consistent clients from their content on repeat. Okay, custom because everybody's different, so you gotta figure out what works for you, right? But anyway, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Yeah, posting content without a strategy is what leads to all the frustration. It's like trying to go out to eat and not knowing where you're gonna go. Then you ask your partner, they're like, I don't care, go wherever, you choose. Fuck. That's not what I heard. Anyway, so without a plan in place, you kind of just end up wandering around aimlessly, not knowing what to do or making steps in the right direction, right? But I don't want that for you because it's a huge waste of time and energy. I hate that for you. I don't want that. So I'm here to help you out. So the first mistake I made when it comes to having a content strategy was not having a content strategy. That kind of messed me up pretty big. It was kind of a big thing. One of my old chefs used to tell me proper planning prevents poor performance. All right. When you go into your content, when you go into your business, your brand, social media, when you go in without a plan, without something that you're going to execute, without an idea of clear goals that you're going to be aiming for, and you're not setting yourself up for success. You end up with inconsistent messaging, inconsistent posting, you're wasting time, energy. It's just a clusterfuck of what am I doing, right? When you have a clear strategy, when you have a clear goal that you're aiming for, a clear process that you go through, you know this is why I'm creating the content, this is what it's meant for, this is what I'm doing it for. When you have all that laid out with your content strategy, it's like having a roadmap. It's like turning on Google Maps and putting in the destination instead of just hopping on the freeway and driving somewhere hoping you end up in the right spot. It's not a great way to navigate, right? Turn on your GPS, get you a map, get you a clear set of directions so you know exactly where you're going. That's what a content strategy does for you. And if you need help with your content strategy, I put together a guide. It's down below. It's going to take you through the entire process with ChatGPT prompts, everything, so you can go through and fill it out real fast, get everything clear, right? But second mistake I made. Second mistake, I got nine, I think I got 9. Second mistake I made was not listening to my audience. When you don't listen to your audience and you don't address their pain points and the problems they're dealing with, and not even that, when you don't create the content they want to see, your content just ends up flopping. It doesn't do what it's supposed to do. It doesn't give you the results you're looking for because you're not providing the value your audience is looking for. This usually leads to less engagement, less trust from your audience, lack of consistency with people viewing your content because you're not consistently providing them with what they want. More than likely, you're making selfish content or content that you feel like you want to put out or you feel like they need, but you're not taking the time to ask them what they're looking for. You're not taking the time to ask them and figure out what they're interested in or what they're trying to do, what problems they have, what issues they're trying to solve. When you go in assuming you know what your audience is looking for, you go in assuming that you know what content they want to see, it leads to a disconnect and it leads to content not performing well. It leads to lack of engagement, lack of growth. So in order to fix that, you need to make sure you're doing audience research. So you can go on Google, TikTok, Instagram, and use the search bar to see what people are searching for when it comes to your niche or your industry. You can look in the comments from bigger pages or people in your niche who are posting content. Go look in the comment section and see what people are talking about, see what people are asking, see what people are struggling with, see what people want to know more about. You can also do surveys. Every platform allows you to do surveys now. You can do surveys in your stories. You can put up a little poll. You can do it on LinkedIn, Facebook. I think Instagram is testing out being able to do polls in the captions now. But there's plenty of different ways for you to figure out what your audience is looking for. And even looking at the content other people are putting out, like if someone puts out a guide for how to create better content and you see a bunch of people are requesting that guide, you know a big problem people have is trying to figure out how to create better content. The reason I'm creating this content, the reason I'm focusing on content strategy is because I know a lot of people have a problem figuring out a good content strategy or even having a strategy when they approach their content, their brand, and their business. And I figured that out by looking at the comments, asking my audience, looking at what other people were posting, figuring out what was getting engagement and what wasn't, right? So when you figure out what people are struggling with or what they want to know, what they want to learn about, you use that to come up with ideas for content that'll help solve their problems and help get them where they want to go. That makes sense? So the third content strategy mistake I made was posting just to post or posting without a purpose. I think a lot of creators and entrepreneurs fall into this trap because they know, oh, I'm supposed to be posting. Oh, this is how I'm supposed to get business. This is supposed to help me grow my brand or help grow my page or help get me sales. So I need to post something. I know I need to post something. But when you approach it from that standpoint, you end up doing more harm than good because you're not having a consistent message. You're not posting consistently. You're not providing value that your audience is looking for. Then it also becomes a strain on you. It's draining. It's making you spend your day trying to come up with ideas or put together a reel or put together a carousel, like put together something so that you have something to post. Then you got to write the caption to make sure that's good. It has the right keywords. It's so draining on yourself and your brand when you post just to post, or you're posting just because you know that's what you're supposed to be doing. But you don't have a purpose for it. You don't have any intention behind it. You don't have a strategy for it. It leaves you drained. It leaves you feeling demotivated and demoralized because you're not seeing any results from this content that you spent an hour, 2 hours trying to put together, and nothing's coming back from it. It's stressful. It's annoying. It's frustrating. And a lot of times pulling back and posting less and being more intentional and having a purpose with your content will provide you a lot better results than posting just to post or posting just to stay in front of people. If you want to post just to post, or if you want to post because you know you need to stay in front of people, post on your stories. Use your stories and post there, but don't post to your feed or your timeline because that's the content you're putting out to the world and that's what they're going to judge you based off of. Your story disappears in 24 hours. The content that you post on your feed and your reels, those live forever. And you want to have a strategy behind what you're posting, right? Fourth mistake I made was inconsistent posting. It was not a consistent routine or a consistent schedule that I stuck to when it came to my postings. Like, you want to be known for something. You want to be known for the value and the content that you bring, not just because you post Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. Like, that's good. You want to have consistent days that you post, but you should also have like themes or topics or pillars that you set up that's going to help you stay consistent with posting content on those days that provides value and continues to provide value for a long period of time. By approaching your content with a strategy and knowing I'm going to provide tips for mindset on Monday, I'm going to do case studies on Thursdays, I'm going to go live on Saturdays. Now you have something that you're consistently doing every week and you're providing value with that and showing up with a specific type of content that can continuously hold people's interest, right? So the next biggest mistake I made was not paying attention to SEO or making sure my content was SEO friendly. SEO is search engine optimization. That basically means if you go to Google, right, you type something in the search bar, how do I bake a cake, right? It's going to show you a bunch of results that have been optimized. They've used words like how to bake a cake, baking cake for beginners, beginner recipes, things like that. They've used keywords that is going to tell the search engine, this is the content you're looking for. This content solves people's problems, right? In 2021, TikTok became the most used search engine, surpassing Google, right? And their algorithm was based off search. So if you go on TikTok, you can search tips for dance moves, cake recipes. You can search for anything, right? And it's going to show you a list of things that other people have searched for or related searches. It's basically acting as a search engine. And now Instagram has adopted that too, because people are starting to use social media to search for and look for answers to their problems as opposed to going to Google, right? So how does that affect you? That means your content needs to be structured or formatted or created in a way that is going to answer someone's problem. If you go look at Instagram, for example, if you go search for copywriting tips, you go search for anything, right? It's going to show you a bunch of posts. And what you'll notice is that a lot of those posts are from weeks ago, months ago, years ago sometimes. It's not necessarily showing you the most recent. It's showing you the most relevant and what's most likely to help you solve the problem you're looking for. So you should be creating content that's evergreen, that's going to be relevant for a long time, or at least for the foreseeable future. You should be using keywords that people might type into the search bar to find the answer to the problem or to find the type of content that you're creating. So if you're a fitness trainer, right, and you're putting out workout routines, you want to make sure you're using keywords like fitness routines for moms who just had a baby, right? Like whatever your niche is, whatever your target audience is, you want to make sure you're using keywords and indicators or indicator words that is going to let the search engine and people know this is what the content was intended for and this is who it was intended for. Hope that makes sense. I hope I didn't go too far with that. And the best way to do this is by adding those keywords, adding those phrases, adding those things to your captions, to your content. So if you're creating a reel, you can use as the title 10 exercises you can do as a new mom, right? That's gonna let people know this is for new moms. These are exercise tips. And it's gonna let them know who this content was meant for and who it's meant to help. So you can use keywords in your content. So like on your reels or your carousels, you can use the keywords in there because the algorithm in Instagram, they read that. They can tell what text is being put on and they will use that to categorize the content, right? You want to use keywords in your captions. So when you write your caption, you don't want to just stuff random ones in or just put a bunch of keywords in there. You want to use them strategically and write a helpful post or a value-filled post that uses those keywords to give the algorithm even more information and let it know this is what this content is about. Then also you want to make sure you're optimizing your actual page and bio. So your name, your bio, like the information in your bio, you want to make sure there's keywords there because that's also going to let Instagram know when it starts to categorize your content, it's going to look at those places and match it with the content to make sure, okay, this person's bio says fitness trainer. This piece of content they just put out says 10 fitness routines for moms. I know that this content is fitness related and should be going to moms, all right? Hope that makes sense. Hope I ain't going too far on these, but anyway, whatever. And if you're unsure about what your keywords are, what keywords you should use, you can check Google, you can check Instagram, you can check YouTube, ChatGPT. They're all great places to find what phrases or words your audience might be looking for and using that in your content. Next biggest mistake I made was not paying attention to my analytics. Not paying attention to the analytics is a horrible idea. Men lie, women lie, numbers don't. Your numbers are going to tell you what does well, what people are looking for, how much it was saved, how much it was shared, if you got new followers from your content, how long they watched your content, whether they stopped watching in the middle. You can get so much valuable information just from looking at your insights or your analytics. Don't sleep on those. When it comes to having a solid strategy, a big part of that is looking at what works and looking at what got engagement or reactions or comments or saves. And then you use that information to make your strategy and your content better because you know if I do this type of reel versus this carousel and this one gets 20,000 views, but this one doesn't get any type of engagement, I should double down on what's working and what's going to get me closer to my goals or brand or my business, right? If you're not looking at your analytics, you're not paying attention to what's working, you're kind of just putting stuff out there and just letting it go. You can't improve upon yourself, you can't improve your content or your strategy if you're not paying attention to the numbers and what's working and what's not working, right? So, next mistake I made was not engaging with my target audience. I fell into the trap of engaging with people in my niche in my industry. So focusing on engaging with other social media strategists or other content specialists and things like that, which is cool. That's cool because you start to get that engagement from people who are actually going to keep responding to you and actually take interest in the stuff that you're posting. At the end of the day, those aren't your target audience unless that's who you're looking for. That's who your potential clients are going to be. That's not your audience. You need to be focusing on engaging and developing relationships with your potential audience or who your target audience is. It does you no good to get 50 comments from a bunch of people who are your peers and create similar content to you, but you're not getting any interactions or engagement or DMs from people who would potentially buy from you. It does you absolutely no good. So you can build up that engagement circle, that engagement group of people who might be in a similar niche to you or who might be putting out similar content, and you guys are kind of like hyping each other up, commenting on each other's posts and stuff. But if you're looking to make money, if you're looking to get people who are going to turn into potential clients or buy from you, you want to focus on engaging with those potential clients, those potential customers, not people who are just there to root you on but aren't ever going to buy from you. That makes sense? Next mistake I made, and I haven't made this mistake in a while, but a lot of people still make this mistake, and that is too much promotional content or too much selfish content is what I call it. A lot of creators and entrepreneurs, they fall into this wheelhouse of putting out content that's kind of self-glorifying, or it's only self-serving, like it's a bunch of selfies or you out living this glamorous life, or a bunch of aesthetic posts, or it's only promotional content where you're only selling stuff, where you're only selling your services. That's all you talk about is your services and how much it costs and how you can buy and how you can sign up and things like that. Or you only post content that doesn't provide any value to your audience. It's only selfish content that serves you as the creator and the poster. This content is dangerous because it can alienate your audience completely. If you only post content that is relevant to you and it doesn't provide your audience any value, it doesn't give them any insight, any tips, any helpful advice, motivate, inspire, educate, it doesn't do anything for them. It's just there as like an ego boost or to pat you on the back, things like that. That's a great way to kill your engagement and kill your platform and kill your brand, because you're not doing anything to service your audience. You're not doing anything to help them and provide them value, right? I hope that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. You should understand your audience, what issues they have, what pains they're dealing with, what problems they have, and provide content that helps them with that. It helps them get past those roadblocks, get past those struggles that they might be dealing with, motivate them to get to that life that they're looking for, okay? Stop posting selfish content. Hate that. And the last mistake I made, and this one probably limited my engagement and my growth, and that was not paying attention to trends and changes happening. And that can be trending audio, trending styles or formats, or changes on the platform, algorithm updates, things like that. Just not being aware of the patterns that are coming or the way people are starting to put out content. It can leave you out looking outdated. It can leave you looking like you don't have your finger on the pulse. You're not really aware of what's going on in the world. And it can also kind of make you seem oblivious to what other people are looking for, what they're not looking for. For example, a lot of people are putting up the reels where they say, this is how I do X, Y, and Z. And then they show like 5 or 6 different boom, 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 quick clips of whatever their process or strategy or whatever it is that they're trying to give out, right? If you look in the comments, there's so many people complaining about those types of videos. It's the same with this is how I did X, Y, and Z, and makes you wait 5 seconds and it says look in the caption. Those work. Those do really well. But there's a way that you can do them where you're not kind of deceiving the audience and you're not tricking them. It's more of this is how I do X, Y, and Z. Boom, 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 boom. For a bonus step, check the caption. That's much more likely to get you a good response than to make people feel like they wasted their time or they were tricked into doing something. So you just want to make sure you're being aware of what's going on around you as far as when it comes to content and social media. Look at what audios keep coming up. Look at what styles or formats or videos keep coming up. What trends are popping? What holidays are coming up? What are people talking about? What are people making content about? Like, pay attention to what's happening in the timeline. And don't be afraid to experiment. Try something new and try out a new style or format or try new things. Like, you never know where that might get you. Okay? Trends tend to lead to the most engagement, the most reach organically, because you're hopping into a trend or something that already has momentum. So don't be afraid to hop on a trend. Don't be afraid to try new audio. Don't be afraid to try new video style, because that can lead to a lot of organic growth and engagement from your potential audience, especially if you remix the trend or remix the style to something that's relevant for your brand and to your audience. All right. So I hope that was helpful. I hope you don't make the same mistakes I did. You don't fuck up like I did. If you need help with your content strategy, make sure you check the caption or leave a question or a comment so that I can make a video responding and help you clarify anything you might not have understood. All right. Yeah, that's all I got for you. Make sure you check out the next one. Hit the subscribe, hit the follow, likes, all that shit. You know the shit to do.